Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. Another successful Christmas parade for Oxford, and learn who this year's grand marshals were in that parade.
Stay tuned, learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. It was another great year for the downtown Oxford Christmas Parade. The weather cooperated and the parade began at 2 p.m. right on schedule. Leading the parade on December 5th were Grand Marshals, husband and wife, Jeff and Kim Collier. The Colliers, who are fourth generation Collier Bowling Lanes owners, have their business located at 879 South Lapeer Road in Oxford. The Christmas Parade is organized each year by your Oxford Chamber of Commerce. This year's theme was Rock and Roll Christmas, and the parade did indeed rock and roll with the many brightly colored floats and lively Christmas music and other interesting parade participants. The weather was just right and for the parade goers to pack the streets, and those children who waited anxiously to see Santa at the end of the parade, they weren't disappointed. As in every year past, our OCTV crew were there to record into Oxford history this year's special event.
I thought our viewing audience would like to know a little more about Jeff and Kim Collier, who were selected as the Grand Marshals of this year's Oxford Christmas Parade. Jeff Collier is a 1975 graduate of Oxford High School, and that was just a few years ago. The couple have two children, Michael and Erica, who also participated in the family bowling business. What you probably did not know about the Colliers is they are extremely generous to their community. For years, the business has made countless donations to our schools and community, and they continue to do so. In addition, every year the Collier Lanes hosts free of charge numerous bowling fundraisers at their facility, helping to feed the hungry, fight cancer, and a dog rescue program. So if you should run into Jeff and Kim or any of their immediate family members, please tell them thank you for their generosity.
And Oxford Lions Club members were out in full force last week to support the yearly Goodfellow Drive. Our Oxford Leader newspaper provided the Lions with over 1,000 copies of their paper to be sold for charity. The profits for the sales are earmarked for Christmas dinners and gifts for local families who would otherwise not be able to afford a Merry Christmas. You go, Lions!
So if you're out in Addison Township, stop by the Leonard Nature Center and check out the new observation deck built by the Oxford High School senior Trevor Dean. Dean is a Life Scout with Troop 156 based out of Shelby Township, who recently completed construction of the 120 square foot structure as an Eagle Scout service project. And in true Eagle Scout fashion, Dean built the deck to be handicapped accessible. The project took him about 3 months to build.
And over the Thanksgiving break, someone was shooting at something other than the holiday turkey. A middle school custodian working at the school over the break found several windows of the front entrance had been shot out. Fortunately, it had been done while no children were at the school. Oakland County Sheriff's deputies say the damage was done using a pistol. Police have the spent bullet cartridges, video surveillance, and other evidence. Police are asking the public to contact them if they have any information that will help them locate the suspect or suspects. Meanwhile, this is your tax dollars being destroyed by this senseless activity.
Well, another gun was stolen in Oxford this week, and police are asking for information on who the suspect might be. Last week, a woman used her husband's truck to run errands, and little did she know his hunting rifle was in the back seat when she took the truck to have its interior cleaned. When she returned the truck to her husband, it was discovered that the rifle was missing. If you know anyone who has recently obtained a rifle under suspicious circumstances, you are obligated to yourself, your loved ones, and your community to tell police. With all the shooting sprees we've been witness to in the past month, it is vital that we all be vigilant with our firearm storage and practices. The serial number of that gun and the description of the missing gun are on the stolen items registry with the police, and the investigation continues. Please, please, please be careful with your firearms.
You'll begin to see additional police presence downtown because Burdick Street seems to be a target for attempted break-ins lately. Police were recently called to a Burdick Street address when the complainant found their front door knob broken and pry marks on the door frame. Officers checked to see if neighbors saw anything out of the ordinary, but the would-be thief left before entry and before being seen. After a search of the neighborhood, police were unable to find any witnesses, but they say that there will be additional monitoring in the area. The neighbors are being warned to watch out for suspicious activity. How about that?
What's going on? I know it's around the holidays and things get a little desperate, but jeepers, creepers.
Stay out of my house.
People trying to break in and steal other people's stuff. And darn it, stop leaving your guns in vehicles. I just can't even believe it. That's twice in 2 weeks that somebody has had their gun stolen out of their own vehicle. And with everything that we've seen in the news in the last week or so with San Bernardino, it just breaks my heart that such a careless act could cause the same thing as terror acts or acts of terror. So I'm disappointed.
Look at all
that
the families that have been disrupted,
Oh, my
by this
goodness.
careless and ridiculous,
Yeah.
danger that these people are posing,
Yeah.
to the public. And what I wonder about is even the school windows getting broken out.
Yeah,
if
that
it's done by
too.
kids, how do they get a hold of that weapon?
That's right.
The pistol.
That's right.
Did they go out and get a permit? Probably not.
Or no, probably not.
Let
So
someone
maybe
lying around.
Yeah, maybe somebody had one in the house that they didn't keep in a gun safe. Doesn't the Oakland County Sheriff Department offer free gun locks?
Yeah,
If you
so does
contact
the
them?
village. The village offers
village
that too,
does
the police
too.
department.
So if nothing else, people, if you're going to leave your gun hanging around in your car or wherever, at least put a gun lock on it. I don't know if those can be broken off. I don't know. To me, it seems like it'd be something you'd not be able to get off. But please be
it's pretty
careful.
hard. Pretty hard to break those off. So
Okay.
it's just a safety thing.
So everybody
there,
that has a gun, go to Oakland County or the village and get one of those gun locks. I think everybody should have one if they have a gun.
Tell 'em we
but-
sent you.
There's my shaking my bossy finger at everybody. It's holiday time. Let's do good cheer stuff. Don't try to break into your neighbor's house and gosh, if you need something, I guess there's a lot of churches that are supporting
Yes.
people right now, giving food away, giving gifts away, and
And I think
don't
it was
have to
a
steal
great.
it.
I think it was a great thing that Chamber of Commerce did too for the parade. Fantastic parade.
oh my
Great job.
gosh, yeah, congratulations on that. Oh, and the Colliers,
Yes.
they're long-standing family in this community, so that was really great. So that's Oxford News this week. If you want to learn more about these stories and others, stop by your local store and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, but better yet, catch us right here on Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99. And Leonard, you can stay where you've been, Channel 19 forever. That's it.
Coming up next is on OCTV, Oxford Sports with Jamie Hughes, and catch Oxford School News with John Ochins. Also, join Dave Kenny with Auto Talk and Science in the News.
I'm Terry Stiles, and this is Oxford News This Week, where your news is closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, some people may have a get-out clause when it comes to giving up smoking. A third of white people who smoke have gene variations that make it harder for them to kick the habit. A gene called ANKK1 regulates the release of dopamine, a chemical involved in the brain's reward center. Ming Li at Zhejiang University of Medicine in Hangzhou, China, wondered whether variations of this gene may affect people's ability to give up cigarettes. So, his team analyzed 22 studies that linked ANKK1 to smoking involving 9,487 white participants. The team found that 2/3 of white smokers carried a variation of the gene called A2/A2. These people were 22% more likely to be able to quit smoking than those who carried an alternative version of the gene called A1/A1 or A1/A2. People carrying these variations of ANKK1 may need more aggressive strategies to fight their addiction to cigarettes, says Lee. And still in China, A Chinese rocket launch is about to give us a fresh look at dark matter. If all goes to plan, the Chinese Academy of Sciences will be putting the Dark Matter Particle Explorer, or DAMPE, satellite into orbit on December 17th. The probe will scour the cosmos for protons, electrons, and gamma rays. This could reveal smoking gun signals of dark matter, the mysterious stuff which makes up 80% of the mass of the universe but can't be seen directly. 2 other space telescopes have glimpsed hints of its presence. One shows a glow from the galactic center that may be caused by particles of dark matter colliding and then annihilating around the black hole there. The other has detected more positrons, the antimatter sibling of electrons, than expected. This could be the result of dark matter being annihilated nearby, but might also be caused by nearby pulsars. DAMPE should be able to test which explanation is right, says a team member from the Chinese Academy of Sciences in Nanjing. And in Scotland, Nessie may be a mythical creature, but Scotland was once home to enormous dinosaurs that waded in shallow waters. Stephen Brissett from the University of Edinburgh and his colleagues stumbled across several hundred footprints in a coastal lagoon on the Isle of Skye, which they dated to the Middle Jurassic, or 170 million years ago. The size of the prints, up to 70 centimeters across, suggests they were left by sauropods. They had a bigger footprint than a T-Rex, says Brissett. The largest creatures to ever have lived on land, these massive plant eaters weighed around 20 tons, were up to 15 meters long and several stories high. This is the largest discovery of dinosaur footprints in Scotland, and it helps to piece together how and where these behemoths lived. These dinosaurs weren't swimmers, but they would have been moving around knee-deep in this brackish lagoon. Maybe the plants were a good source of food, and maybe they got some protection from other dinosaurs there, said Brissett. On the medical front, doctors have grown the world's first vocal cords from scratch. The breakthrough could one day restore speech to people who have lost their voices through surgery or disease. Doctors built the vocal cords by seeding collagen scaffolds with cells from 5 human donors. The cells were coaxed into forming tissues that mimic vocal fold mucosa, the flaps in the larynx that vibrate to create the human voice. It took just 2 weeks to create each of 170 flaps. Researchers tested the vocal cords by attaching them to larynxes extracted from dogs. We put the larynxes with the folds attached onto a fake windpipe and blew warm air through them, says Nathan Wellham of the University of Wisconsin in Madison. The result resembled a robotic kazoo, he says. It sounded like an ee sound. Well, the sound matches that made by human vocal cords in isolation. The rest of the human voice is created by modulation of the mouth and the throat. When the team tested the folds in mice with human immune systems, the tissues weren't rejected. They were immune privilege hidden from the immune system. This suggests that human recipients wouldn't require any immunosuppressant drugs. Loss of voice has a devastating effect on a patient's quality of life, so engineering a living replacement is a very important milestone, says Harold Ott of the Massachusetts General Hospital. Wow. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcats School Update. If you've been dropping off kids at our early childhood center, you know there's been some playground improvements going on. We stopped by to check it out and spoke with Sue Rohr. She's the program coordinator over there.
We have 2 brand new playgrounds. The one in the front of the building is an infant and toddler playground. And the one that's in the back of the building, which is totally brand new, is age appropriate for 3 to 5-year-olds. We haven't had a quality playground here for preschoolers since we moved here. We've been saving money for the playground for 3 years. So it's pretty exciting that it's all coming to fruition. The last piece is due to be delivered today, and then after they put the last piece in, they have to blow in some ground cover and put fencing up.
And there's some similar stuff going on at other schools, right?
We have partnered with the district to help bring age-appropriate playgrounds for Daniel Axford this year and for Leonard this year, with the understanding that we will work on the other buildings in years to come once we generate that revenue.
As we go around to our schools, we notice that everyone is getting into the holiday spirit. We stopped at Lakeville Elementary and noticed a couple of neat projects. One of them is the Giving Tree. School Secretary Donna Burton explains, along with local physical trainer Lori Harvey.
So every year we have the children that are less fortunate. They give us wishes to put on the tree. Every child gets 4 wishes, 2 items of clothing, 2 toys. So we hang them up here and families choose a wish and they go to the store and they see how old the child is and what their wish is. They purchase the gift, they bring it back, and then our staff sorts all the gifts, wrap them up and give them to the parents so they can help their children have a happy Christmas.
Well, good for you. And there's Lori Harvey. She's going to take all of them.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
watch.
trying.
She's our
We have
rock
a lot.
star.
And you know, all the schools need this because I heard Leonard had a lot too. And the firefighters out there help them, but there's so many in this
There's
general
so much
area.
you
So
need.
yeah, I'm hoping other organizations will help adopt some of these kids. There's a lot.
Lori Harvey gets contributions from her clientele to purchase those gifts. Good work. Another project at Lakeville is Pennies for Pasta. Martine Bonney is in charge of that and explains.
These are bags that we are using to collect our pennies for pasta. We do annually. We collect in the classroom. All the children bring in their spare change they find in the couch or on the floor or in the car at the bottom of mom's purse. And each classroom collects their own money. The classroom that collects the most money wins a party from Olive Garden. Thank you. This is for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
And has this been going on for a long time, this sort
This
of
has
thing?
been going on for at least 5 years that I can remember.
There are many projects like these throughout our district. While we're at Lakeville, there's an interesting reading program going on. Lucky the dog comes in for a visit every week. First graders take turns sitting down with her and reading. Lucky's trainer Jan Britton tells us how she got into this.
Because I used to teach preschool and I needed something to do. And then when Wendy mentioned it, it was like light bulb. I mean, I love kids, she loved kids, and it's just something that...
When you say certified, what do you mean?
She went through a school training, you know, to see that she was friendly and quiet and calm. We went to local senior centers with the school, and then she had to take a little test, and then she had got this lovely blue neckerchief.
We asked Jan how long she's been doing this.
Just this year I've been doing this school just this year. Last year I did Auburn Hills and a school in Rochester, but I live in Oxford and it seemed like a good thing to help in your own town.
So you do this on your own, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and so how often do you come here?
I come here once a week. They said we do a school in Auburn Hills once a week, and then we do special needs at Clear Lake once a week.
And what would you say the purpose of the program is?
The purpose is to help the children become more confident readers. There's all different levels. I do K through 2, and it's amazing the difference that you see in each class, and they seem to like it. You like reading to Lucky, Grace?
And how does Lucky figure into all this?
Well, actually, Lucky is who the kids like.
That's Jan Britton. That's the Oxford School News for this week. Stay tuned for Jamie Hughes with Wildcat Sports. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
Back with you in Oxford News this week. Time for Oxford Sports. Yes, it's an exciting time. Oxford High School track and field star Connor Bandel signed a letter of intent on November 17th to compete with the University of Florida. The 3 main things that made him choose the University of Florida, well, it has an amazing track team, great culture around the campus, and a great campus just in general. What will he be studying? Well, engineering. He's also going to study chemical and biomedical. Again, congratulations to him. Oxford High School Athletic Director Cole Andrews said Mandel is a senior. He excels at tremendously high standard both academically and athletically. Again, congratulations to him on his endeavors in Florida. The 9U Oxford Wildcat flag football team won the 9U divisional title in 2015 Midwest Flag Football State Regional Championship in Walled Lake. It was the team's third straight title. The team went 7-0 with only 32 points allowed, 131 points scored over 7 games over the past 3 championship seasons, 2013 through 2015. Impressively, they have a record of 20-1. Congratulations to the flag football team. Yes, wearing the old Oxford High School hockey team jersey here, as I have been. Quite excited. The Oxford Avondale United hockey team deadlocked at 2 at the Troy Sports Arena in the first outing of the 2015-2016 season. That game can be seen here on the weekend and at 4 p.m. on Oxford Community Television. You can also log on our website. You can catch all of our other programs as well. In a packed room full of emotion this past week, the Oxford School Board entertained Coach Stephen Henning's resignation. Stephen Henning was the most winningest coach in Oxford boys basketball. In the announcement from Superintendent Tim Throne, Dave Brown will now assume the helm of the 2015-2016 season. Henning will maintain his teaching position at the Oxford Middle School. Henning's record, an impressive 16-4. Again, this meeting can be seen on our TV station and at OCCTV.org. I'm sure we'll have more on that story in next week's broadcast. Keeping up with the school news and local Oxford sports, check out their website. You can find out where your athlete is supposed to be, oxfordathletics.org. Again, that's one word, oxfordathletics.org. Check it out. You'll find out where your student athlete is supposed to be. While you're on the web, just a reminder, you can see our programs at OCTV on your personal device. Go to OCCTV.org, hit the programs tab, hit the YouTube tab. You can watch it on your iPad, computer, phone, wherever you choose to watch. I invite you to watch conventionally on the television if you want. Saturday and Sunday afternoons, we run our sporting broadcasts. Again, that hockey game will be there this weekend. Check it out, OCCTV.org. And then you can catch any one of our programs. Again, that meeting will be up on our website if you don't catch it on television. Quite a heated meeting with the loss of Coach Henning. It's going to put a wraps on it. Hope you have a great one. Take care of yourself till we do it all over again. I'm Jamie Hughes, and that's Oxford Sports.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, nearly a quarter of the 8,500 new or secured jobs that Ford Motor Company promised the UAW in its newly ratified contract will be at the Louisville, Kentucky plant that's preparing to build aluminum-bodied Super Duty pickups. Ford announced a $1.3 billion investment in the Kentucky truck plant to support the redesigned Super Duty. The company says the retooling and expansion, including a new body shop, will create 2,000 jobs at the plant, which currently employs about 4,400 workers. Most of the 2,000 jobs will be new hired, though some may be filled by employees moving from other plants, according to a source briefed on the plan. The jobs help Ford fulfill its commitments under the new UAW contract, but the source, who spoke on condition of anonymity ahead of the formal announcement, said much of the investment is tied to the previous contract signed in 2011. That deal promised a $621 million investment in the Kentucky plant, while the new contract earmarks another $600 million for the plant. Ford says the 2017 Super Duty, scheduled to go on sale late next year, will be up to 350 pounds lighter than the current version, but have longer cabs and improved towing and payload capacity. Sources have told Automotive News that production will start in May. The changeover will be much faster and less disruptive than it was for the F-150, which involved several months of downtime at 2 plants to convert their body shops and make other upgrades. Ford spent nearly $2 billion to upgrade its Kansas City assembly plant and Dearborn truck plants, along with related parts and stamping plants. And at VW, Volkswagen AG and the Justice Department want a U.S. judicial panel to centralize in Detroit hundreds of civil lawsuits alleging the German automaker defrauded consumers and shareholders, according to court filings. The U.S. Multi-District Litigation Panel will hold a hearing December 3rd in New Orleans to determine if and where to consolidate more than 350 lawsuits that stem from the automaker's admission in September that it installed illegal software in nearly 500,000 vehicles to circumvent U.S. diesel emission tests. Lawsuits have been filed in more than 40 U.S. states. Last month, U.S. regulators also said VW installed defeat devices to cheat emission standards in 85,000 larger cars and SUVs. The judicial panel routinely consolidates major civil litigation in order to speed cases and avoid duplication of efforts. Consolidating cases allows for joint document request and witness depositions. Volkswagen wants the judicial panel to create 2 tracks of cases, one for suits filed by owners of diesel vehicles and another for 5 securities lawsuits filed by pension funds and others who invested in VW through the American Depository Receipts, or ADRs. One security lawsuit says U.S. investors lost hundreds of millions of dollars as the value of ADRs declined by 33% after the scandal became public. For instance, the Arkansas State Highway Employees Retirement System, one pension fund suing VW, says it lost $1.7 million on VW investments. In a November 24th court ruling, VW lawyer Robert Jofra said the automaker wants the cases heard by Chief U.S. District Judge Gerald E. Rosen in Detroit. But VW said if the panel thinks that is too burdensome for one judge to hear both types of cases, then the securities cases should be assigned to U.S. District Judge Liam O'Grady in Alexandria, Virginia. Separately, the Justice Department, which is conducting a criminal investigation into VW's diesel emission cheating, also wants the civil cases heard in Detroit, noting government testing labs are nearby in Ann Arbor, and VW has engineering offices north of Detroit in Auburn Hills. Wow. And at Fiat Chrysler Automobiles does not plan a hostile bid for rival General Motors at the moment, and will focus on executing its growth plan into 2018 until the right and willing partner is found, Sergio Marchionne said. Marchionne, who has called for consolidation in the industry to share the prohibitive costs of developing cleaner and more intelligent cars, said finding a partner was not a matter of life or death for FCA. We are not choking. We are in a relatively decent shape, Marchionne told journalists in Amsterdam following a shareholder meeting that approved the demerger of Ferrari from the group. This year, Marchionne sent an email to Mary Barra, his counterpart at GM, proposing a tie-up, but was turned down. This is not an indiscriminate dating game. I am not willing to go with anybody to get it, he said. We have been publicly rebuffed. We have been rejected, and you cannot force these things. I don't want it. I don't want to, he said. At the moment, we have no intention to do anything hostile. He added that other less obvious merger candidates existed that could offer similar benefits, but he did not elaborate. Marchionne said FCA would first focus on its $52 billion 5-year investment plan centered on turning Alfa Romeo, Jeep, and Maserati into global brands. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.